There is a crop that yields double the harvest of potatoes and survives cold that kills wheat. Once planted, it feeds families forever without buying seed again. For thousands of years, it was the ultimate insurance against starvation. Then, industrial agriculture erased it because it grew without permission and spread like wildfire. In 1605, French explorer Samuel Champlain landed on the Massachusetts coast. The Algonquin people welcomed him with a feast featuring knobby roots they called Kaishuk-Panak, the sun root. Champlain filled his ship's hold with tubers and sailed back to France. This crop would feed European peasants through famines for centuries. These are sunchokes, Helianthus tuberosus, the perennial sunflower root native to the Great Lakes and eastern woodlands. The Iroquois told a creation story about them, growing from Earthwoman's feet when she died giving birth to twin sons. The plant towers 8 to 10 feet tall, crowned with yellow sunflowers. But the treasure lies underground. The knobby tubers store sweetness as inulin, not starch. This makes them safe for diabetics while providing sustained energy without blood sugar spikes. Tribes from the Atlantic to the Great Plains planted them once and harvested forever. They spread through underground rhizomes like a living network beneath the earth. The yield was staggering compared to other crops. A single plant produces 3 to 6 pounds of tubers. An acre yields 64,000 pounds without irrigation. Potatoes, even in perfect conditions, yield 53,000 pounds with irrigation. This represented survival itself, not luxury. When Champlain brought them to Europe in 1605, the continent was starving. Soils were exhausted from centuries of grain cultivation. Famines struck every few years. But these tubers spread like salvation across European farms. The French called them topinambour. The Italians called them girasole, meaning sunflower. They fed peasants, livestock, and royalty alike. No fertilizer was needed. No annual planting was required. Leave fragments in the ground, and next year brought a full crop. They survived freezing, waiting underground until hunger demanded their harvest. But cracks appeared in their dominance. The tubers were small, knobby, and irregular. They were difficult to clean and impossible to harvest efficiently with machines. They spoiled faster than potatoes and couldn't sit in warehouses for months. The inulin caused digestive issues in people unaccustomed to it. By the mid-1700s, the potato had won the agricultural battle. Larger, smoother, easier to store, potatoes fit the systems Europe was building. Warehouses, markets, tax collection systems, all favored crops that could be standardized and controlled. The crop fell to animal feed and subsistence farming. In North America, European settlers called it a weed. They preferred crops that required buying seed annually, crops that could be controlled, taxed, and sold through established systems. Then disasters struck that revealed the true value of what had been abandoned. During World War I, Germany faced Allied blockades. The winter of 1916 became known as the Turnip Winter. People ate rutabagas meant for livestock because potatoes had failed. These tubers saved some families, growing wild in forgotten fields where they couldn't be blockaded or seized. World War II was worse. Nazi forces seized 80% of all food from occupied territories. Potatoes went to German soldiers. French families survived on scraps and whatever grew wild. For 4 years, millions lived on topinambour, the same plant they had once welcomed but now despised. After liberation, survivors refused to eat them again. An entire generation associated the crop with death, occupation, and the worst years humanity had endured. The vegetable that saved millions became a symbol of suffering. and disappeared from European tables. The systematic marginalization was not accidental. Industrial agriculture demands crops that fit mechanization. These tubers mature at different times, making machine harvest nearly impossible. Specialized equipment is required, or expensive hand labor. Neither approach scales profitably in industrial systems. More fundamentally, they represent agricultural independence that threatens corporate control. You cannot patent a 10,000-year-old crop. You cannot force farmers to buy new tubers annually because any fragment regenerates into a full plant. You cannot create dependency when the crop perpetuates itself indefinitely. Modern research confirms what ancient peoples always knew. The tubers contain more potassium than bananas, significant iron and magnesium, and B vitamins that flood every cell. The real power lies in inulin, comprising 50 to 60% of their weight. This prebiotic feeds beneficial gut bacteria, lowering pH and blocking pathogens. Studies show inulin reduces constipation and boosts immune function. It may prevent certain cancers before they start. Unlike potatoes that spike blood sugar, these tubers release energy slowly. Diabetics who ate them daily reported insulin needs dropping by half. Yet they remain virtually unknown to most Americans, despite growing wild across 38 states. The name itself was deliberately obscured. Jerusalem artichoke confused people because they're neither from Jerusalem nor related to artichokes. The Italian word girasole, meaning sunflower, was corrupted by English pronunciation into Jerusalem. In the 1980s, produce wholesaler Frida Kaplan recognized the marketing problem. She renamed them sunchokes and trademarked the name. Sales jumped 600% when people understood what they were buying. Chefs discovered their nutty sweetness and creamy texture when cooked. Today, only Japan grows them commercially, calling them hadoimo. They've cultivated them for over a century, while America, their native homeland, imports them as specialty items. The crop that could feed millions grows wild in ditches, while children suffer malnutrition in nearby cities. The food system continues favoring crops that require annual purchases, chemical inputs, and corporate dependency. These tubers ask for nothing, give abundantly, and spread without permission. That uncontrollable generosity makes them dangerous to systems built on scarcity and control. Climate change threatens wheat and corn yields worldwide, but sunchokes thrive in conditions that kill other crops. They store energy where drought cannot reach. They survive cold that destroys potatoes. They produce abundant food using 1/3 the water of conventional crops. The knowledge persists in scattered places where people remember. Small farms grow heritage varieties. Permaculture practitioners call them the holy grail of perennial food production. They continue spreading through root systems, waiting for recognition of their gifts. The crop that sustained indigenous peoples for millennia and saved Europeans from starvation grows unrecognized in abandoned lots. It offers the same abundance that fed ancient civilizations, asking only for soil and occasional rain. That resilience is exactly why it had to be forgotten.